Hello everyone, welcome to Smartboard Training. My name is Jason Burchell. Today we're going to focus on the basic functionalities of the Smartboard itself, what you can do with this board, how it shows up, and examples of each. So when you pull up the board, there will be a left-hand sidebar. This is what is called the main whiteboard screen, and we'll give you an example of that when we pull up the board itself. But it allows you to do multiple different things. Touch, draw, create shapes, insert images, and manipulate those images in multiple different ways. And we'll show you examples of each one. So, for some of the features, you have your basic pen and eraser, and different options for such. When you select pen, there will be a black, red, green, and blue color change, as well as 4 different lines of thickness and 2 different highlighters, either green or yellow. Under pen mode, when the pen is down, you can either use your finger to draw, or you can actually pick up the pen and begin to draw. You can also physically change the colors here. So when you change the colors, it will draw different colors. Under shape sections, you can choose different shapes, either circle, square, pentagon, or different things such as star, X, and check mark, as well as different dashes and lines and things of that nature. The eraser section allows you to choose 3 different eraser sizes. And here is where you can create multiple whiteboard slides, and we'll give you an example of each of those. Moving on for now, briefly, you can use your finger to touch on the smartboard just as you would either a smartboard, or a smartphone or a tablet. And you can actually use your hand to erase, or your palm, or any large object. Similar to how the eraser will erase, you can use your fist to erase as well. When you're done, you can also capture images. Similar to how you saw me draw and write directly on my presentation here, you can actually end up capturing those images directly to the whiteboard and manipulating them further. That is done by selecting Capture on the left-hand sideboard, and either full screen capture or rectangular selection. Full screen capture will capture the entire screen, whereas rectangular selection will allow you to use your finger to crop an image of just what you want to select. You can pan under the whiteboard using 2 of your fingers. You can drag and scroll using a single finger, or you can zoom out by using 2 hands, or even simply 2 fingers, just as you would zoom in or out on something like an iPad. So, we're going to go ahead and give you an example of such things. We'll go ahead and why don't we capture the image of what we had before. So, like I said, we had these little circles that I drew on my presentation. We're going to go ahead and we're going to full screen capture, and that's going to send that image directly to the whiteboard. On this left-hand sidebar, you have desktop, whiteboard, view screens, and organizer. View screens is how you would see someone else's desktop under Bridget, but the main option that we want to choose today is something called whiteboard. That is your bread and butter of the device. So as you can see, that image that we captured earlier is posted to the whiteboard here. I can use my fingers to make it smaller or larger, however I wish. And if I can go ahead and select pen, and that will turn my finger into a pen where I can draw further things. Or I can pick up the pen and begin to draw further. So, like I was saying, on the left-hand sidebar here, you have your pen options, your eraser options, as well as your shape options that I showed you before. And there are a couple of other options as well. Pan mode, we'll start with pan, allows you to move around the whiteboard. These whiteboard slides are actually very large. If you notice, I can make the image very, very small, or I can zoom in very, very large if I so choose. And you can do that simply by touching. The select option will allow you to draw a large square, which will select everything in its vicinity. If I had multiple objects, such as these two lines and this object here, when I went to select, it would select each one of them. Under pen, that allows you to do your pen options, your eraser options, and shapes. And lastly, we have something called text. When you select text, you take your finger and draw it along, and that will create a text box where you can either type using the keyboard, or you can pull up an on-screen keyboard and type using your fingers, if you so desire. That option is right next to the pen colors on the physical location of the board itself. There is one other option called Gallery, which allows for additional content that can be added. That will come in a more advanced section. In addition, you have the option to create multiple whiteboard pages. Here, you notice there are multiple images of the whiteboard session, of which you can add more or delete them, and paste and delete images from different whiteboard sessions to create a large entire presentation for use later. We'll get into that on how to save your presentation in a later section. Thank you for joining us, and have a good day.